This is the third time that I've recorded this. Obviously, I had preseason jitters and before a game on Sunday or Saturday. So I have a lot to talk about. I'll try to get back or get done through in about 15 minutes or so. So there are things I want to talk about before I actually give my prediction for the team and for the game on Saturday against Spurs. First, I want to talk about the acquisitions. The three biggest ones I want to talk about is the German, uh, the Frenchman, and the Italian. So obviously become more continental with the players we brought in. I'm overjoyed that we got a German in, and I like Bastian Schweinsteiger. I think he should have been with us about 2 or 3 years ago. But I really think that his commitment or his contribution to the team is going to be in the EPL. I think he's going to be probably play starting half of the games. Um, but he's here for Champions League and to be a leader in the clubhouse. And so I'm great. I'm glad that we got him. Um, he has the same issues with a lot of the people we have in our midfield. He has a great recognition of the game, but he's a little slow, and that concerns me in the Premier League. Um, if he goes to like Spain or if he stayed in the German league or in France, I think he'll be a dominant midfielder. I'm not really sure that he will be, but I think he'll be. I hate to say serviceable for somebody who's won everything, but we'll see. I would not put him first in my team. Uh, he has to get used to the EPL. It's a little different than the Bundesliga. And before I go any further, this is Kyle,
Oh no!
and I'm Man U fanatic. And last year I did about 20 or so of these previews. Um, I mean, not many people watch me, but every now and then um, it's nice to see that people listen to what I have to say. But I am a fan of Manchester United, been a fan since I was about 12 years old, and I'm 50. I know quite a bit about it, even though I'm American. Doesn't mean that my opinion is not valuable because I know more a lot. I know a lot about the game of football. Uh, Served overseas. I played. Um, just probably the lowest. I would probably say that my talent level would have been enough at least play a non-conference, maybe into the football league in my prime. So I know somewhat what I'm talking about. Sometimes when I talk, though, I have a problem because I had a stroke. So some of the things might come out kind of weird. I'm sorry about that, but that's the way I am. I've been at Rand Cafe for 16 years. One of the, not the first, but certainly one of the first uh, several hundred of people that was on that um, forum, and I still post there. But I'm not one of those people that have got 100,000 posts. I have about 10,000. So I love the team. I'm a supporter. I've been to the stadium. I've followed them around the United States. 30 years ago, we didn't have the internet. I had to actually drive to a bigger city to get the London Time to find out what they did. So I am, quote unquote, a real fan. I'm not just a plastic person because we were successful. I was around when we weren't that good. 77 was probably the best time. We beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. I had to drive, or had to, actually, I think I got the videotape of that like 6 weeks later. So um, I'm a big fan of it. Anyway, so we're talking about Bastion. So that the next two are what I think are going to be players who are going to actually be starters for us, and I think going to be very important to see where we go from here. How many times we're going to win the Premier League and all that. Uh, I wasn't a huge supporter, let's say, of Morgan Schneiderlin, but looking at the size of him, the pace, I think he's perfect for what we need him for. And in my mind, he should start until he doesn't play well, and then somebody else should stay in front of him. We need that steal in the midfield. As much as I like Herrera still is kind of slight built, and I've seen it several times that he gets the ball knocked off of him, same as Mata. So you have to have Morgan there. And I think the star of the preseason so far has been Darmian, the Italian. Great flair of the game, also very good at defense. I don't believe he will be a right back. for as long as he wants to play at United. As much as I love Raphael, Raphael is not at the same level of this young guy. And, as much as it was sad to see Raphael leave, and I was talking about next as part of the departures. Darmian is the guy that's going to be, to me, he's Neville with more space. So I think this is a big sign for us, and I think even though we didn't pay as much for him, I think over the years this is the guy that's going to be very important for us to do anything in the league. Now, as far as the departures, everybody's all upset about Di Maria, and they have a reason to be. All I can say is have a good time in Paris, and when we come and see you in the Champions League, don't be upset if somebody kind of like knocks you over. Okay, you were playing at the biggest club in the world. How you left us was not warranted for as much money we gave you, and we gave you the respect of giving you the 7, and how much that means to this club. I'm not going to say anything about his character or anything else. I know he went through stuff, but he should have done, and I'm not going to say he should have been a man about it because I think that's stupid. He should have done the right thing, and his character has to be questioned here, and it's unfortunately that he left this way. If you don't want to play with us, that's fine. And he is symbolic of the modern footballer, and not just footballer in Europe. I'm talking about football in America, or baseball players or basketball players. They think they're bigger than the game, bigger than the club, and they're not. And nobody's bigger than the club. I'm still upset that we let Beckham leave, but he was not bigger than the club, and we still got and won another Champions League trophy without him. Falcao's a little different. I think that he still was not 100% back, and I think he lost something in his pace. And I hope he does well at Chelsea, as long as he doesn't play well against us. I hope he does well against our rivals and take some points off of them. Not enough, because we have to catch Chelsea. So he's a great player. I don't think he was never at the same level as Aguero or Suarez. A lot of people think he was, just because he played for Monaco and was it Atletico Madrid. He was a good player, probably very good, but I'm sorry, we played way too much for him. But that's hindsight, whatever. I rooted for him. Hope he does well at Chelsea, except when he plays against us. And of course, Raphael, it gutting me just as much whenever. I mean, this team has changed so much. It's like not the team. The team is so different now, which is okay. But I have to get past Vidic leaving and Ever leaving and Rio leaving, and it's tough. And we'll see. I hope he does well at Lyon, and it's the guy that will always be welcome back at Old Trafford. And I hope that when he decides to retire, that we have a testimonial for him, and I will do whatever I can to get over to England and see that game in person, because he's one of my favorite players, and I love his feistiness, especially against like Liverpool and stuff. He is what he bled red, and that's why I love him. Let's talk about the formation. I think what we're seeing in the preseason, that it looks like we start off with 4 in the back, but I think really what we're seeing is 3 at the back, and then Blind is basically has carte blanche to go around. And I think against PSG that we got caught out from that. So I think that really we're playing 3 at the back, and Blind is kind of like the bottom of the diamond. So personally, I don't necessarily like Blind being in that position. However, with Blind, Carrick, Young, Rooney so much because he's the star of the team. Whether he should or not be is questionable. These are the 4 that Van Gaal has told this is what they want to do, and they both listen to Van Gaal, and Van Gaal is probably going to find a place in the team always for those players. And on most of those times they should be in the game, but we'll see. I still think that Young is probably going to start based on what Van Gaal's thoughts are. So we'll get to that. So I think that really we're playing a three in the back. So anyway, as far as on the preseason, I thought we were okay. Obviously, Darmian and Snyderland were the stars of the tour for us, and Matta looked like Matta always looks. Little concerned about Carrick, still a little rusty to me in the same way with Bastian Schweinsteiger. But hopefully over the season that'll wear itself out. Oh, I don't know if I talked about Carrick. Yeah. Van Gaal will always put Carrick in the game if he's healthy. So, because he knows what he wants him to do, and he can do what he needs to do. All right, getting through all that, let's talk about Spurs and what the threats they have to us. And obviously, they're a good team, and I think the game will be won and lost in midfield, and they're going to have probably Eriksen's going to be there with Lamela and Shedley, and it could be a problem for us. So I do believe that Morgan Strideland should start in this game, but we'll see. We'll see what he'll do with it. And up front they have Kane, and this is going to be one of those Baston under fire thing for Blind. Although unless the coach decides to put Smalling in, to man mark him, and Smalling has enough talent that he might be able to just mark him out of the game. So, all right, I'm going to talk to you about what I think the teams are going to be from what I think that Van Gaal's going to do and what I'm going to do. And then I'll give you my predictions, and I'll be out of here. I think that even he's going to start up with 4 in the back, but I still think it's going to be 3, and then Blind will be doing what he's doing right now. So I think it's going to be Darmian and Smalling, Blind, and Shaw. And I think that Smalling, it'll be in the middle, obviously, when Blind is going. So actually we'll have 3 in the back. And I think up in midfield you're going to have Matta, Carrick, and Morgan, and then Young. I just think that Morgan has to be in this game, and Carrick needs to be in the game as well. As you probably can see, there's probably no Herrera in this game, and that I'm different when it comes to that. I'm just saying right now this is what I think that Van Gaal's going to do. And I think you'll have Depay behind Rooney. And I think during the game you will see us go to either 3-4-3 or 4-3-3, and then Matta going up, and then Young kind of defending in the midfield. I think that's what we're going to do. Because Matta, obviously, especially against PSG, he was kind of like controlling the right side. So, we have so many midfield players. And if Pedro comes in, it's just going to be hard. And where are we going to put Matt at and Young? It's good to have depth, but at the same time, it's hard to figure out who we're going to play and keeping everybody satisfied. My team, similar. Have Darmian, Smalling, and Shaw. I'm playing 3 in the back. I'm not playing this game anymore. I don't think we should try to fool people. We're going to play 3 in the back, and in front of them I have Carrick. I think Carrick's better at that position than Blind would be. So then I'd have Morgan, and then Blind, like in a diamond, and up front of that I have Herrera. I think that's the best way to go with. You have 3 guys in the midfield that are smart enough. They will stop the counterattacks. And then at the end, you have Carrick at the end who can make that final save target tackle. Then up front, then I have Matta, Rooney, and Depay. That's kind of harsh on Young, but I think that Depay has to play. And my final position, I think it'll be goals in this game, and I think we'll win 3-1. Hopefully, that's what my prediction is. That's all I have this week. I will be out of town next week. I'll try to do something from the hotel. I'm going to St. Louis to see my beloved Cardinals, and then my sister's getting married, and I have to walk her down. We're going to say goodbye. We'll talk to you after the game on Saturday. Say bye, Guy.
Bye, bye, bye.
Talk to you later.